all communities are feeling fearful about what would happen to them. So who is putting this othering, fear into everyone? Because if I speak to you, now you are saying that the Savarna, I understand what you're saying, because even I come from the Central Travancore region, and Christian and the Hindu community, especially the Savarnas, have a similar growth track when it comes to education, qualification, migration also now that's happening in large numbers, migration, and also, the clout of both the communities are dipping in Central Travancore region. So I understand that, socio-economic process that's happening, because that is probably what is mirroring both of them together in this. But then this othering feeling is coming, like, we need to blame someone for something. That is there with, we are trying to find reasons and who could be behind it. Some of those are intrinsic to us. Some of them are intrinsic to us in the sense that, but why others? Why other people out? Othering is not something that we should be looking at.
And I mean, you have hit the nail on the head. That is what we need to do. We need to introspect. We need to understand that the problem is inside. We need not other any other community. Let me be very open. We need not other the Muslim community. Muslim community is not our enemy. Our problems are internal. For example, Christian fertility rate dipping is an internal problem. Largest number of suicides, family breakdown, lack of population is a Hindu problem. So we need to address our own community's issue. That's a real issue. There is nobody saying no. Muslim community, of course, yes, in the past 50 years have become more influent due to the Gulf money, and then that's a good thing. They are becoming good. No, we should be happy because they are bringing a lot of foreign revenue to our, foreign remittance to our state. That's a very good thing. We need to uphold our interest in a good way. Along with that, in the same way, the Muslim community also has their own interest. We need to strike a balance. We need to strike a harmony. All the leaders of Kerala, are bringing in that harmony in a good way. For example, RSS has a Muslim Rashtriya Manch. RSS has a Christian Rashtriya Manch or a Isai Rashtriya Manch. We need to support such pluralistic, harmonious organizations from every hue, every political, whether it is CPM. CPM is right now warming up to Muslim community in a big way. Congress traditionally has the maximum number of Muslim and Christian votes. BJP, Prakash Javadekar ji, who is a very senior leader, categorically told in the Easter and Eid, go to Christian and Muslim houses, say Happy Easter and say Eid Mubarak. It was not said by Rahul Ishwar, it was said by Prakash Javadekar openly to go to Muslim houses, reach out to them. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas and Sabka Vishwas. This is not only Narendra Modi's slogan, this is the whole ideology of India. This is the vision of Mahatma Gandhi. Unless we have a Sabka Saath attitude, along with that, we need to take care of our own interest. So Sabka Saath on one hand and our own interest on the other hand. God has given us two hands. With these two hands, we need to balance that thing. And I think that Narendra Modi's vision is what everyone needs. Everyone should prosper and I should also prosper. And there is no contradiction between two. And every community may have their own issues. In the name of secularism, we should not close our eyes to our real problems. So rather than a pseudo-secular attitude has crept, that is a reality and we should fight that. We need to address our own community, Hindu community and Christian community or Muslim community's issues. And along with that, we need to have a larger framework and larger perspective for the society. We have such great organizations in Kerala itself. For example, Muslim League, for example, our Christian parties, our fathers, for example, NSS, SNDP. They are all great organizations who have shown a right way of balancing between communities and society's interest. So our community plus whole society. This should be the mantra that we should be taking ahead.
Professor Sebastian, my question I was asking is, do you feel that fear? Is there that othering fear? On one side, you feel that, the Christian community is being completely, pushed out of the political realm. The parties that are supposed to raise its voice are not raising its voice. You have that othering feeling. At the same time, out of fear, you might even say that the other person is out of, having an agenda on you. But who is putting this fear? Is it legitimate fear? Is it the extremists who are driving the fear? Because I don't think so. And every organization has an extremism model, and they are the ones who are the loudest. The extremists are the ones who always keep expressing themselves. Pacifists are in any organization or in a political organization are at the backbenchers. So when they make a lot of noise, the fear factor is also, manifold. It tends to be projected on you like anything. So do you think that you are othered, or you are feeling the fear of others othering you and you are trying to other the other person also?
It's not like that. Whatever Sri Rahul Ishwar, my friend, told, there is a factual error. Kerala, the geographical area of Kerala, faced the three genocides. One is by Tipu Sultan in 1790s, around 300 years back. Thereafter, 1921 by Variam Gundan. Then before that, there is a Lakshadweep massacre, genocide. So in these three events, Christians and Hindus are completely eliminated by jihadi forces. And thereafter in 1946 published it. The geographical area of Kerala, that is Travancore Kochi for Madras presidency and Malabar from Mysore presidency. In these two regions, 100% of the people opted for Pakistan. But the other regions, it was 90, 95 and all. But in these two regions, 100% of the people demanded Pakistan. They got it, but they didn't go thereafter. They're still here only. And now they are preaching secularism to us. This is taqiyya, nothing but taqiyya. It is not secularism. We don't believe in these two, taqiyya or secularism. These two things we don't believe at all. Because they were acting. In the past 75 years after independence, they were acting. See, in Alappuzha, the PFI and the SDPI forces.
Well, I think we will in fact try to get in touch with Professor. I think there is some problem with the connectivity with the Professor Stanley. He's back, in fact. Yes, Professor, sorry we couldn't catch up because of the connectivity issue. You can continue.
Yeah, see, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, see, so the real facts are diagonally opposite to what Sri Rahul Ishwar presented here. So nowadays what happens, the polarization is not created by the Christians. We are uniform everywhere. But in Kerala, what happened, the jihadi forces take control of the state. There is a sedition movement happening, that is Azad Kerala, Tukde gang. They are trying to separate Kerala from India. They are the media people of Kerala. They are trying to cut in south. They want to create a separate South Indian state with the help of China. There are so many sedition activities happening in Kerala for the past 30 years.
Well, I'm also yet to, in fact, Professor Stanley, I'm also yet to, in fact, understand whether there is a sedition movement or a succession movement, as you are trying to say, and also a sedition movement, as you're projecting, because I don't think so. Anyone has asked for a separate Kerala. Anyway, Rahul Ishwar wanted to respond to that. I'll just give Rahul Ishwar his time.
I will just complete one sentence.
Okay, Professor. One question. After that, I'll give it to Rahul Ishwar.
Only one sentence. That is, the Christians in Kerala are not interested in a separate Kerala or a separate South India state. We are fully with the government of India. We are fully with Hindustan. That is the reason we are targeted. Plainly, I am telling. The Christians of Kerala are with the government of India. That is why they are targeted. If the Christians are with the China, Pakistan or UPA mafia, we will not get targeted. But we have decided that we will be with Hindustan, Bharat Mata. That is the reason we are targeted.
Well, I'll give it to...
Just two submissions. Just two quick submissions. One, government of India is not the nation. I am an admirer of Modi ji, but government of India is not India. Tomorrow, if a UPA government will come, day after tomorrow, AAP, I don't know whether AAP will come, if AAP may come. So government of India is not India. Government of India is different from India. Government of India is only a political party. It is something like saying, I speak against Pinarayi Vijayan regularly. If I am speaking against Pinarayi Vijayan, am I anti-Kerala? No. Even though I am a huge admirer of Modi ji, speaking against Modi ji or speaking against Modi ji's party is not similar to speaking against India or Bharat Mata. One. Second, let me submit what, regarding Tipu Sultan, what the greatest RSS thinker, K.R. Malkani, RSS journalist K.R. Malkani, who later became a lieutenant governor, said. K.R. Malkani in this book India First says, the more I read about Tipu, the more I am impressed with his rich personality. Tipu Sultan was the only prince who died fighting the British. I submit Akbar, Dara Shikoh and Tipu are heroes and not villains. And with the death of Tipu, Indian independence had been extinguished for a century and a half. This is not by Rahul Ishwar. This is by the greatest RSS journalist and thinker, K.R. Malkani, on a book in which L.K. Advani ji wrote a foreword to. Even in that same topic, he says, what Tipu did to us or Malayalis or Malabaris was wrong. That was a bolt on his career. That was a dark spot on his career. So when we analyze history, there are positives and negatives. Let us celebrate the positives. Let us point out the negatives. There is no issue with pointing that out. This is done by not Rahul Ishwar. This is done by K.R. Malkani, the greatest of RSS thinker, who who was the chief editor of Organizer for 35 years, the greatest RSS person. Second point, yes, 1921 was very sad, but what to do? What do our Muslims have to go do with it? It happened 100 years ago. And let me quote our only Muslim chief minister, who was the father of K.M. Munir, in the Lok Sabha, when in 1960s, he said, if Holy Makkah comes to attack India, C.H. Muhammad Goya, his name was C.H. Muhammad Goya, who was the one-time Muslim chief minister of Kerala. He was a MP in 1960s. He said, if Holy Mecca dares to attack India, me and my children will be the first to fight that. So there are a lot of patriotic Muslims. There are a lot of India-loving Muslims in that. 0.001% may be wrong. They might be ISS people. They might be extremists. They might be extreme Wahhabis. But can you blame an entire community for the wrong of few? 109 people went from Kerala to join ISIS. Absolutely shocking. And nearly 155 people was arrested by the Indian government for their ISIS sympathies. Absolutely shocking. But we should remember, from Belgium, which has only 1.5 crore population, 400 people went to join ISIS. But in India, hardly 100 or 200 people went to join ISIS. And as BJP senior leader Rajnath Singh ji rightly says, who was the Home Minister in 2013, 2015 and 2017, ISIS and Al-Qaeda didn't win in India because of the greatness of India and Indian Muslims. We are so much integrated. That's the reason why Modi ji appointed as our counter-radicalization specialist Syed Asif Ibrahim, who was the first Muslim IB chief of India. It was Modi ji who gave him the charge of counter-radicalization or de-radicalization.
Well, Rahul, I agree with all this. I mean, I'm agreeing with all this. But I'm just looking at a small state like Kerala. I'm just looking at, I mean, our history of, when you pointed about Tipu Sultan also, I have an ancestral history where the Syrian Christians were also targeted in Kozhikode, today's Kozhikode, and our third church was also attacked. I know that history part of it, but then I see it on a different perspective as well. In the sense that, Tipu was also a ruler of Mysore and he was in war with the British allies. And of course, if you look at everyone, for example, Martanda Varma has destroyed churches and temples of those who were against him. Before he's a Padmanabha Das. But at the same time, he's funded churches and temples of those who were his allies. So they acted typically like kings of that time, political kings, they were acted like that. I'm looking at history from that point of view.